Welcome back to CBS Sports HQ, presented by GMC. There is no change atop the CBS Sports MLB Power rankings this week. Dodgers stay number one. Shohei Ohtani seeking baseball's first 50-50 season. Down at the bottom, the White Sox are on pace to make history with the most losses in a single season all time. Since we're in September, we're also getting to the nitty-gritty with the playoff races in the American League. The Orioles, Royals, and Twins currently hold the 3 spots, but there are chasers looming. Over in the senior circuit, a little more clustered at the top. Padres, Diamondbacks, and Mets, Braves, tied with 19 games left to play. You worried, Jacqueline? Are you worried?
You know what? You know what I want to say, Tommy? You know, Mets fans are acting like this is some David and Goliath race. The Braves have, like, what, 5 all-stars that are injured? So the fact that this is this close and we're so injured, like, congrats, Mets fans. I'm mainly talking to producer Jack, who's in my ear right now as I'm airing my grievances. I digress, Tommy. Right. I digress.
No, that's all right. I asked. That's okay. Hey there, folks. I'm Tommy Tran, joined now by Matt Snyder, who puts our power rankings together, and our MLB insider, Jim Bowden, joining us for our weekly chat. All right, let's speak about the New York Mets. They had their 9-game win streak snapped. They're tied with Atlanta for that final playoff spot. Matt, I'm going to give you first word here because you've been putting these rankings together for us all season. Just take me through what you think the race is going to be like with, what, 2.5, 3 weeks left to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be great. The Braves pitching staff right now is just off the charts good. The rotation, that is, especially with Chris Sale. He's going to win his first Cy Young at age 35. A great story. But the rest of the rotation has been amazing as well. They hardly ever give up any runs. It's ridiculous. But the Mets, since June 2nd, 54-30. That is the best record in all of baseball. That's not even a small sample anymore. That's almost half of a season. Francisco Lindor, as we know, is having an MVP caliber season. Obviously, he's fighting for second place, I think, behind Shohei Ohtani. But look, it's a lot more than that. It's Mark Vientos, how good he's been since he stepped into the lineup. Sean Manaea and David Peterson throwing like frontline starters right now. Now, the Mets do have a tough schedule. 7 games left against the Phillies, 3 against the Brewers. And let's focus on that last week, because 3 games for the Mets in Atlanta versus the Braves. It might well come down to that. And I have to say, Jacqueline, I love the airing of the grievances, but we got to save those for December 23rd. That's Festivus.
Yeah, and Matt, I think it will come down to those last 3 games. As you mentioned, the Mets have a tough schedule, right? You got those games against Philly and Milwaukee and the 3 head-to-head. That won't be easy, although Atlanta also has to play 4 against the Dodgers. They also have to play 3 against Kansas City, who have been tough, although they also get 4 against Cincinnati, 3 against Miami. You know, these teams are opposite down the stretch. As you mentioned, the rotation with Sale and Max Fried and Alo Lopez, Charlie Morton, all 4 of those guys coming off really good starts. They're starting pitcher deeper than the New York Mets. We get that. But are they going to score enough runs? You know, as Jacqueline mentioned, all the injuries they've had to Acuna and Albies and Riley, and they're trying to score runs. You know, over the last 10 days, only 1 player's hit a home run, and that's Jared Kelenic, who has 2. That's it. So can they score enough runs? And on the other side for the Mets, their offense considerably better than Atlanta right now. So I agree with Matt. I think it's going to come down to probably that final weekend of the season, and I think that's the kind of pennant race we're all excited to see.
The numbers look good in terms of the sports line projections, at least. The Mets have a 65.6% chance, Atlanta 61%. So it'll be interesting to see, as you guys mentioned, how it all plays out. Let's get to the American League. Minnesota swept by Kansas City. There's a cluster of teams, guys, 3.5 to 4 games back for that final spot. We're talking about Detroit, Seattle, and Boston as well, Matt. So take me through this scenario.
Yeah, the Twins have lost 14 of 20, and if anything, I would like to just eliminate this wild card spot, because nobody in the American League is worthy of that spot right now, unless the Twins wake up. But I'm just not so sure. They lost Joe Ryan for the season. Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa are still injured, and we don't know how that's going to be, if they're going to come back, if they're going to be themselves at all. They're just in a bad way right now, but you can't trust the Mariners. The Red Sox have lost 11 out of 16. Could the Tigers sneak in here? They have 3 against the Rockies to start this week at home. We know how bad the Rockies are on the road, and they have 3 against the White Sox to close the season. The Tigers just don't feel like a playoff team. The one aspect of their team that is great, though, is that bullpen. They've got Tariq Skubal at the top of the rotation, and then the back end of that bullpen is really, really good. They just don't feel like a playoff team. It seems like nobody wants the spot, though.
Minnesota controls their destiny, and even though they've been playing well, their next 6 games are against the Angels and the Reds. they need to take advantage of those two series. They need to win them both. If they can win 5 out of 6 or 4 out of 6, they'll be in a really good position. However, if they continue to play poorly over the next 6 games, they could be in trouble because they've got to play both the Guardians and the Red Sox 7 times on the road after that. 4 in Cleveland, 3 in Boston, and they absolutely could blow it. And again, be careful of the Seattle Mariners here because remember, they've got the starting pitching to make a run, and I think that's one team that is scary. But for Minnesota, I think the next 6 games are critical for them.
Let's go to the AL East. Only a half game separating Baltimore and New York. The Sportsline projections do favor the Yankees heavily. Jim, I'll start with you. Do you agree with those projections? How do you see it playing out?
Yeah, I was at Wrigley Field this weekend covering the New York Yankees and was just really impressed. On Friday, he was just absolutely nasty. Fastball 97, 98. He had that wipeout slider. He had no chance. Clark Schmidt then comes off the injured list. He pitches solid. Nestor Cortez unhappy that he was put in the bullpen by manager Aaron Boone. And so what does he do? Probably had his best outing of the year. Schmidt and Cortez led to that victory on Saturday. Look, the Yankees starting rotation 6 deep right now, and they can't really decide who's going to be in the pen. Cortez is going to get a start next, and then Aaron Boone's going to have to make a decision when he goes back to a 5-man rotation who goes to the bullpen. Yankees look really good. The one concern I have about the Yankees is they're getting 0 offense from first base from Anthony Rizzo or Ben Rice, and they're getting no offense in left field for Alex Verdugo. I don't understand why they don't bring Jason Dominguez up. I think that the front office is getting hard-headed about that decision. I don't know why. But they're not getting any production from those 2 spots. But I do love the starting pitching. And I go to the Orioles, and look, I'm okay with Corbin Burns and Zach Eflin. But besides that, those other 3 starters is the reason why Vegas sees it the same way that I do. When you look at Cade Povich and Albert Suarez and Dean Kramer, they just don't move the needle for me. I do like the Yankees holding off the Orioles and winning the division. But look, they're both going to be in the postseason, and they're both going to be a World Series threat.
Yeah, and the Orioles, they're exactly 500 in the second half. They've been mediocre. Going back to June 12th, they're 37-40 since then. Adley Rutschman has actually been brutal in the second half at the plate. Whatever's going on with him, if they're going to win this division, the Orioles need Adley Rutschman to turn things around. Now, Gunnar Henderson was playing like an MVP through most of the first half, and he's taken a step back, but he still hasn't been bad. It's Rutschman who needs to step up offensively. But yeah, it's as Jim mentioned, their rotation has issues. The bullpen has been pretty bad the last couple months as well. They frankly just need to play better. The good thing for the Orioles is the Yankees have been pretty mediocre throughout the same period of time. The Yankees are actually 33-40 since June 12th. So this is kind of a war of attrition right now. Both teams are not going well at all. It's going to be whoever can outlast the other one in terms of who is the less futile the rest of the way. That series in the Bronx the last week, 3-game series, that might well be what determines this thing.
And let's end with a player focus, well-deserved for one Shohei Ohtani, who's now at 46-46. He's seeking baseball's first 50-50 season. Jim, I'll start with you. Do you think he gets there? And what's the proper way to contextualize what we're seeing from Ohtani?
He's absolutely going to get there, and let me tell you why he's going to get there. The Dodgers have 9 games left with the Colorado Rockies and Miami Marlins. The Rockies are 30th out of 30 teams in team ERA. The Marlins are 28th. Both of these teams have long been eliminated. None of them have a chance. And so what are they going to do? They're going to pitch to Ohtani. No reason to walk him when you're out of it like they are. They don't have the pitching to stop him. And so he's going to get 4 more home runs at the very least, even if it's just in the 9 games against them. And look, he can steal a base at will. All he's got to do is get on. He's on pace for 52-52, but he's definitely going to get 50-50. And how do you put it in context? No one in the history of Major League Baseball has ever done it. Period. He's going to become the first DH ever to win the MVP. I'm sorry, Francisco Lindor fans, because he certainly deserves to be in the MVP conversation. But Ohtani is doing things that we've never seen before. It's an absolute joy to watch it, and he's going to make history. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, my plea to the masses is let's not get numb to this guy. Let's not take for granted how absolutely ridiculously amazing he is at playing baseball. He probably is the most talented player we've ever seen. I've been asked recently if he's the greatest player ever. You can't say that because he doesn't have the longevity yet. But I think that this guy does so many things great on a baseball field that I just hope this is going to be his third MVP. We don't get to the point where it's like, oh man, I'm getting tired of Ohtani. Let's please not do that. And the stolen bases this season are the element that really takes him off the charts, right? He's been in the 20s before, but he's never been in the 30s or 40s before. He's going to be over 50. And it has less to do with the bigger bases and the new rules than it does him not pitching this year. He just has so much extra energy because for the past several years, he's been pitching once every 5 or 6 days while he's hitting and serving as the DH. Now he's just serving as the DH while he's doing his arm rehab. Got a little bit extra legs on him because of that, and he's stealing a lot more bases. We kind of figured coming into the season he was going to have his best offensive year ever just because he wasn't pitching. But to watch it unfold like this has been just an absolute joy. And that's why I said, let's not get numb to this. Let's not take him for granted. Let's just enjoy the ride because this is one of the best offensive seasons we've ever seen.
He is on track to separate himself from an already distinguished list of Soriano, Acuna, A-Rod, Bonds, and Canseco. And according to our guys, it's just a matter of time. Jim, Matt, certainly appreciate it. As we take a look at the notable MLB games tonight, Paul Skeens back on the bump for Pittsburgh, by the way, hosting Miami. Massive underdog is Skeens to Jackson Merrill for the NL Rookie of the Year. And just to get back to Ohtani, 50-50, sportsbooks like FanDuel, -430 to get it done.